to make you known. Is our prayer in Christ's name. Amen.
You know, they meet for about an hour before we start our choral rehearsal. Don't you think they do a fantastic job for that amount of time? Wonderful job. Thank you. The thing about ringing handbells, you have to know what you're doing. You know, singing, we can kind of fake it sometimes, but when you're ringing handbells, you really have to be able to count and know exactly what notes one is playing. It's such a joy for me to be here because some of you may not know, I grew up 4.5 miles right over that which way? Anyway, wherever Jesse's Lane is, I grew up 4.5 miles from here. And I always thought we were really special there. We weren't Jesse's Lane then. Some of you know, back then, if you had to go find somebody, you had to know where you were going. But now I thought we were special because we had 2 routes going by my house. We were either Route 5, and I say route, you say, well, it's route. It was route back then to me. We were on Route 5, Laurel, or Route 1, so-so. And we got mail on either one, ever how you wanted to send it. Those mail carriers met each other, or passed each other. For about a mile, there were two routes coming together. You ever heard of that? That happened 4.5 miles from here. Yes, it did. And I can tell you that on probably 2 days a week I average this little, I'm not doing a commercial for them now, but this little place right down the hill from you that serves the best biscuits and the best lunch you can ever find, and grilled chicken salad, you ought to order a grilled chicken salad. At least 2 days a week, I am there enjoying a great lunch. So this is home. I'm telling you, this is home. Now, I live 9 miles back toward Ellisville, but I grew up right there, and many of you I know and have known longer than you want to admit. But it's such a joy to be with you tonight. Yes, it is. We're going to change directions now. At least 3 numbers, maybe 4 on our program tonight are brand new to us. And I'm going to let you figure out which ones they were. I'm not going to confess, because you probably could tell. But, you know, I told the guys before we came in for the service, I said, listen, always look like you're king of the world, that you're doing exactly what you know what you're doing. That's part of it. Now, have you figured out which ones so far are brand new to us? Anyway, I can tell you this one is, but it incorporates some old gospel tunes that you won't carry. We only meet and we rehearse. We had about 20 minutes on each one of them, maybe not that long on each new song today. And that's all they've ever seen. They do wonderfully. They do. This is one that says, I'll be there, and it incorporates some tunes that you'll know and features some trumpet players that you might know also. Here we go. You're going to, another old laid-back gospel song here. Combine some things. You're going to recognize this one. There are not many here as old as I am. However, did you grow up in a singing school under J.B. Coates? Anybody here do that other than just these that I see a hand way back there. All right. Do you know who J.B. Coates was? Mark Coates, are you here? I mean, Mark Stinney? Mark Coates, I'm going to call him. You all know that Mark is J.B. Coates' great-grandson? Do you hear it in Salem Heights? Does that mean anything to you? Mark, that means something to me because J.B. Coates was my first music teacher. He did singing schools. He'd come to Big Creek Baptist Church, and it was, you know, I did that to get out of the cotton patch, and that was easy. That was an easy choice. So we'd spend a week, and he'd decide to stay 2 weeks. So we'd study. We'd go in the mornings. That's where we learned stuff. Then they always brought this brand new Stamps Baxter book. Guys, sit down. All right. He'd bring this brand new book. It cost probably 50 cents, maybe 50 cents. And we'd learn every song, but we would sing it. That's where we learned the fundamentals of music, right there in that singing school. We learned to sing by shape. When they say shape notes, that's what it means. Because do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, they all have different shapes. And you learn to memorize those shapes for sounds. Then a little bit later, then you learn to sing notes on lines and spaces. That comes later. But that's how we learned to sing originally. And we used it to sing those songs in that brand new book. What a treat every summer. Then he'd go to Shady Grove and we'd follow him over there. He'd go to some other church nearby. And so we spent as much of the summer as we could traveling around following J.B. Coates. Mark, did you know that about your great-grandpappy? Maybe? Maybe? And it's just a wonderful tradition. It's a history lesson right here in Jones County about how a lot of us you never know who's going to have that impression on a young fellow or whatever. If I'm anything musically or anything, you know, and related to styles and such, he doesn't know it, and I never got a chance to tell him or his son Edsel, who was he was smooth at the piano. He was so good at the keyboard, wonderful, and wrote great stuff. Had a master's degree in piano from Salem, and also was a wonderful teacher at a junior college and came back to high school. The J.B. Coates family was a wonderful, wonderful influence on not only me, I know a lot of other people. I see Bill Collins sitting there. We used to spend summers. We'd go to Guytana. We spent a lot of time up there just singing, having a great time, and didn't realize what all we were learning at that time. And then now, how God can use that. Here is J.B. Coates' signature song, "Where Could I Go But to the Lord?" So much for sharing tonight with us. I present to you now Slater Murphy, Director of Church Music for the state of Mississippi. He's going to come and bring you greetings from the state office and also then conduct our final number. Slater?
Good evening, New Salem. New Salem. I'm not in Caledonia. Salem Heights Baptist Church. You guys, I go so many places and I lose track of the churches I was in. I'm now interim at First Baptist Long Beach. Go ahead and laugh, Barry. It's okay. First Baptist Long Beach, and last night I did a special one-night worship service at Wool Market Baptist Church. Anybody ever heard of Wool Market? Okay. Y'all look like an educated bunch. Last time I was here, we had the best time in this wonderful church. I want to tell you about this church, guys. They welcome you with the love of the Lord. I don't care what the event is, and they fed us. I'm surprised you guys sang so well with all the food we took in tonight. But you always roll out the red carpet with love. The love that Jesus has poured through this congregation, you shower that to others. And I love your music minister, Eric. He is awesome. You should give thanks for Brother Eric. Let's go ahead and do that. Come on. And I love your pastor, Brother Brent. He is fantastic, and it was such a joy to be able to do ministry for many years with DJ. But something you don't know, Salem Heights folks, is that I was in college with Bobby Kendrick. Oh, okay. How many know Bobby Kendrick? Brother Bobby? Most of us. Hey, I have stories on Bobby Kendrick. I really do, and they're good ones, and I'm sworn to secrecy. Eric, have I told you about any of these? We talked, two of them? Okay. I love Bobby Kendrick. I didn't know he had married into the family until about 2 years ago or so. And he is such a dear friend and doing the work of the Lord where God has placed him. I can't tell you what a joy it is to my heart to share this night with you. Dr. Valentine has led us so beautifully tonight. I give thanks for this man, and I know he's from these parts. You should be proud of Dr. Milford Valentine. I thank him. Here's what I love about J.B. Coates. He invested in people. He invested in young people back in the day. He invested